Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Ron.
And you should be very familiar with our guests by now. Recurring guests. Welcome back.
Hi, everyone. I'm my son.
Hey, Sonia. Good to be here again.
Glad to have you. Today, we are here to talk about P-Valley. And first of all, we can do some housekeeping up front. If you are not subscribed to our channel, you need to be. Make sure you click the subscribe button and also the notification bell so you get alerted every time we post. And if you have not checked out our interview that we recently did with John Clarence Stewart of P-Valley, who plays Big T, you need to. I smiled all the way through that interview just watching it. It was so amazing, such great energy. He was the bomb.
That interview was incredible. I saw a lot of chatter on Twitter, and some people said it looked like we were talking to a friend, an old friend, and it did feel that way.
Yeah, it really did.
I'm claiming him. He's my friend.
Yes, and
absolutely.
So much good things to say, just going in detail about, his character, Big Teak, and how he prepared for the role and all of the behind the scenes details. So you guys need to watch that if you haven't already.
He was incredibly humble. And speaking of chatter, I even saw that his mother had tuned in and said something to him about the interview. And then he was like, "Love you, Mama." That was a very special thing to see. So thank you, Mrs. Stewart, for watching.
Yes, thank you indeed. So go check that out, guys. But in the meantime, we are going to do our P-Valley recap for today. So we will be right back after this break. Here to talk about P-Valley. The recap today is season 2, episode 8, and it was titled "The Death Drop." Now, that death drop, I was like, "Uh-oh, well, where are we going with this?"
I thought the same thing.
I was beginning to ask, which death drop are they talking about? Little Murders or Mercedes went off that pole? Because when she comes off that pole wrong, and hits that floor, doesn't sound good to me.
It was so scary and sad to see. I see her struggling. I mean,
I thought that Diamond had fully healed her, so I didn't know that it would be an issue again. But and in the way she was giving that Mercedes experience, I was like, "Oh, my sister's good."
But she was still struggling. Like when even though she did the Mercedes experience and she killed it, when they showed the audible and stuff, that she pretty much was, you can hear her breath that she was still struggling. She just pushed through, but she was down bad this episode. It was hard to see her like that.
It was. And I started thinking, because like once you skip a little bit ahead, when she was talking to Maine about that weight that she's carrying, the guilt of killing a man, I was like, I wonder if that's why she's experiencing like this heaviness on her shoulders. It's like symbolic of the load she's carrying.
I think so.
Clifford said that. Uncle Clifford said that. He said it's not an injury. He said it's in your head. And I mean, I love sports. And so I remember a particular NBA player that, he was injured on his left arm or whatever. And once it healed, he still played as if that arm was injured. And it was more up here than the actual arm.
A lot of coaches say that, a lot of athletes, even though they're 100% healed, their play is only 80% because, they're either trying to, make certain they don't hurt that injury, hurt it again, or they pay too much attention to it, so they're really not. Their head isn't in the game. It's more on that injury. So that's quite relevant. So
yeah, that's totally true. My friend Rip Hamilton, he had played for the Detroit Pistons. He had fractured his eye.
Rip.
Absolutely. He had the mask.
Yeah.
And remember when he healed up, he kept the mask on for the
broken. Yes, he did.
You know, and it was more of a mental thing. He developed this new found character that allowed him to be something different, you know. And with her, I think her having that mental experience, that emotional experience, is definitely weighing heavy on her. And until she releases that, she's probably going to be affected. Because if any injury that did occur, she should have been healed by now, technically. You know, so it's definitely that the weight of taking someone's life, you know, and it's weighing heavy on her shoulder.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that, you know, Shell is making it worse for her with the situation with Terica. You know, I'm really confused sometimes with Shell because she's drinking and doing all of this in excess, and she complained about, you know, having the responsibility of Terica, but I can still understand the attachment to her, like why she doesn't want to quite let her go and let Mercedes take the reins. But it's kind of like, you need to be decisive in what you're going to do. Either you're going to get yourself together and really care for this girl, or you're going to let, you know, Mercedes step in, because Mercedes reminded her, like, you weren't there for her when she needed you the most.
Right. You know, I was thinking that I'm sorry, Ron, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but to me, it's out of spite because, you know, she really doesn't take care of Terica the way she should. She's not there when she really when Terica really needs her. I think it's more of I'm not going to let you have her.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what we saw when the two of them were arguing about, you know, the abortion and so forth. She is, you know, Shell was just, by any means necessary, I'm going to keep her from you.
Yeah.
Right. Because of this commitment to Cordell, I think that's the name of
Cortez.
Cortez. Cortez, yeah. Cortez, because of the commitment that she made to Cortez. I also think that we're still in the middle of this pandemic and Shell isn't working. And I think that may be contributing to her mental state. You know, think back, you know, this was probably during that first year. I think it's still during that first year of the pandemic, and everybody was going through something. And I'm not saying it's an excuse, but maybe it's an explanation about why and how she is acting the way that she's acting. So I'm just trying to give her a little bit of grace when it comes to what's going on here. Not that I agree with it, but a lot of people were suffering through a lot of things, particularly in the beginning of the pandemic, especially if they lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Good point. And I think in addition to that, I think that she also thinks she's better than Mercedes too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and not only, you know, she's trying to keep her oath to Cortez and everything, but she pretty much throws it in Mercedes' face all the time that, you know, you were the one that gave the child away, but she really didn't. The child was taken from her. She was too young to care for the child.
Exactly. Mercedes was a child herself, and we can't forget that.
Yeah.
Right. But and it's interesting too that you said that about the pandemic, because the Washington Post just did an article and said that P-Valley has done one of the best depictions of the pandemic on a TV show. So kudos to them.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in a marginalized community. We got to throw that piece in there too, because some communities did it better than others because of resources. And then you take it and you compound it with all of the myths that still, well, they're not myths, you know, things that have happened to us as a people, and our distrust for healthcare. All of that stuff played a huge part. You know, I was out here in charge of minority testing, so I got it. You know, having to go out and try to talk to people about how important it was to test. I can't tell you how many times that we talked about the Tuskegee experiment and, you know, how that type of thing. So these are very real situations, and I can only imagine how that was compounded in a community like Chucalissa.
Yeah. And you know, in the Black community, our healthcare isn't a myth at all. I mean, when you stop to think about Black women who have babies in hospitals, and the ratio of Black women that die in the hospital after birth.
Exactly.
So when so it's no myth. So
no, it's not. And I stand corrected when I said that. So yeah, I didn't mean any disrespect to anybody.
No,
it was
no.
a poor choice of words, but I think I know. I tried to clean it up.
No, no,
You're right though. And
Ron, with that being said, we got to shout out the Aftershock documentary that's playing on Hulu that talks about Black women and mortality and stuff. You know, had a chance to see that screening at American Black Film Festival. Amazing documentary. Everybody check that out.
Yes.
You have to. You definitely have to check it out. I mean, from what I said was just a needlehead based on what that documentary will give you.
Right. I mean, we still got a ways to go too with this. We got to keep having these conversations.
Yeah. And I love that this show is bringing it back up, you know, because everybody feels like the pandemic is over.
Right.
But, you know, we still have,
as we know,
keep those issues in the forefront.
Right. Well, we hoping this monkeypox thing doesn't take over.
No,
don't
start on that. I'm like, we can't catch a break.
Right. You know, it's a tough time health wise right now.
It
is
for
the world, you know. So it's about safety and taking care of yourself and being aware of, you know, possibly affecting someone else by your health, you know. So it's serious right now.
I love the way P-Valley hits on every point when it comes to
every week they hit hard.
Every week, and not just about the health, but actually it's all about the health of the human beings, the health of the community, and you know, it's really encompassing. So it's if you watch this show, you can't help but love it.
Absolutely. And you're correct, Ron, because we talk about the health aspect, meaning like the personal health, how we were affected in regards to death, reoccurring illnesses, but we don't speak about the mental aspect of it, you know, relationships. Meaning mental health is real. And during this time, mental health has really been the focal point for a lot of people during this time. You know, people lost lives, but they also lost marriages, lost relationships, lost a lot. You know, so the mental health aspect has been right behind the mortality rate, you know, in regards to people.
And you know, speaking of a relationship, you know, this Keyshawn and Derrick thing that's going on. You know, I was wondering because it seemed like he was trying to clean it up this week. He bought her the new Louboutins that were too small.
How? Isn't Derrick out of work?
That's what I asked.
Whose money is he using? He's using her money to buy the shoes.
He's using Keyshawn's money.
No, he might have PUA, y'all. He might have PUA. You know, he might have PUA money or something. You know,
what's PUA?
Explain that. I don't know what PUA is.
PUA was the money that they were given to folks that were basically unemployed. You know,
I don't think that's the case because Keyshawn's been carrying that load, that family load.
He has been carrying the load
for forever. So I don't think they're getting any kind of public assistance or anything like that. I just think Derrick has succumbed to the fact that he's going to have to depend on Keyshawn. And you kind of saw it with the breakdown that he had when he realized that the shoes he bought were too small.
Like, I can't do anything right. He was beating himself
up. Oh, you know, that's a bunch of crap. He's a typical abuser.
Exactly.
A typical abuser. You know, they do that, you know, to always put it back on them, you know.
But then that too, but it could be a thing of him not understanding how a woman's body, because she said it specifically. I had 2 babies, so my body has changed.
Yeah.
So us as men, sometimes, you know, Ron, I know you're married, you know, like we don't understand how women's bodies change because we pay attention, but feet, you know, like I'm used to buying her a size 7, not realizing she didn't have 2 babies and feet got a little bit chunkier. You know, 7.5 might do.
No. I hear where you're going. I hear where you're going, but I've been married 27 years. I know everything about my woman's feet.
Well, first off, let me just say this: Louboutins run small. So even without the pregnancy, he probably should have, you know.
But you know,
but I guess way too much credit. You really are.
Right. I think though, because he went out and tried to do, in his mind, tried to do something, you know, that was positive by buying her these shoes, and then he realizes, or she tells him, and not only that, it's how she told him. If you saw, she was very cavalier about it. I mean, you know, it wasn't like, oh, thank you, honey, but I'm a size 8 now instead of a size 7. I mean, she was rather docile, as if to say, I don't know why you went out and did this in the first place.
That's the thing, though, because I think Derrick can feel that she's pulling away from him.
Away, exactly.
And that's why he's trying to, clean it up now. But, Keyshawn is already 2 steps ahead of him.
Yeah.
She has used that situation to her advantage to get back into the pink.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it was. You see that smile?
She has an underlying plan that she came up with.
Absolutely. That's all. That was her playing chess. Because you see that smile on her face when he said, okay. And then she just, he hugged her and that smile. So like, I got him, now it's going to be, hopefully it goes to that and her not killing him or her leaving. You know what I mean? Because I really don't want her to leave and go to another state like Autumn did,
No, she's got to go. And I agree with you, Sonia, that it's textbook behavior.
I don't think that plan is going.
That's what I know. I think it's going to change. I think
the plan is going to change.
She got back to the pink. She
ain't
going
nowhere. She ain't going nowhere. She ain't leaving the state. Derrick is going to have to go.
Yeah, that's
bottom line.
And she don't even sound like she had her real plan together, because when Haley was asking her, like, where are you going to go? She was like, oh, I don't know. I think I'll go to, and Haley kind of cut her off. I was like, you shouldn't tell anybody.
Right.
So she's still undecided. She seems like she's very, like, still flip-flopping with the idea. And then I don't know. I feel like she's still fragile. She's in such a fragile state. Right. And then going back to the pink where she received all that, she walked in and everybody was salty with her.
Diamond Space. I was like, Big Bone should be worried, because
I told y'all
when Mississippi came in there, y'all hit the floor. I was like, and she looked like, when your man is not focused on you.
His whole demeanor changed when she walked through that door. He was like, wow.
Yeah, he was all kissy poo and booed up before she came. And then when he saw Mississippi, he was like,
I told y'all it ain't over.
It ain't over.
Miss Cricket Letter, she got an effect on everybody, Even the other 2 young ladies that are new, they look like, oh, we buy your outlet. They were fans.
They were in
awe. She's that chick. She's that girl.
But I think it's, how long is it going to take? If she, according to Haley says, well, what you're going to do is you're going to give Derrick the floor money and you're going to keep the door money.
Right.
How long is that really going to last? I mean, because that floor money is good money. Right. And you worked and earned from that money. And at some point, she's going to get tired of that. Now, I do agree with you, though, Tiffany. I don't really think she's moving because, again, the kind of money you're making is going to be hard to run from. Now, I don't want to make predictions too early on like this, but you did say Derrick's got to go, and I think the only way he can go is
he's got to go.
Yeah,
Derrick got to go.
Yeah, I think he's going to do something to one of those children that's going to make her snap and finally realize that she needs to handle her business. That's where I think it's going to go. I hate to think that way, but I think that something is going to have to really push her further with this. And if he continues, to do something, continues to harm these children, we mama bears now.
Look, I think somebody else might have to intervene on her behalf, because I don't think she can do it.
I don't think so
and
either.
That's why I'm like, I wonder if Haley, like we said last week, I wonder if she might not intervene and finish the job for Keyshawn.
Well, she might be right, because thinking about it from this perspective, right now he's going to be home with the kids again by herself while she's working. He couldn't handle being there alone with the kids. He broke one of the kids' arms being alone. Now he's going to be alone more with the kids.
Right.
I tell you what, I think that, and I hope it doesn't happen, but the death of one of those kids.
I hope not.
Don't even speak that into
that's my fear too, Ron.
That's my fear too.
That's my fear.
Yes.
I'm thinking that he might get wind of the plans. And that's why I think there's something's gonna go awry with the plan for her. Because you see how she said he knows the birth certificate and this, and he clocks everything. And so I think he's gonna get wind of the plans, and that's probably gonna force her hand. That it's gonna have to be another way. She's
back in the pink. And he kept saying bad stuff always happens there. Bad stuff happens at the Pynk. So I think that reopening night that's gonna happen next week, something's going down. She's gonna be there for opening night. She's gonna be the headliner. Derrick is a circle. And Diamond is there too. I think it's gonna be on and popping between them two again. Because I think Derrick gonna go off or do something erratic or something, or maybe he might, as Keyshawn is trying to work out the plan to go and get the kids and run off. I think Derrick might be trailing her or something, and maybe Diamond is trailing him. So it's gonna be like some kind of, collision between all three of them. I don't know. Something's gonna go on.
It's unfinished business, Tiara.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to.
Did you feel it?
It is unfinished business.
It is unfinished business.
Particularly with Diamond. I mean, because when Diamond looked at her, I mean, whatever he had going on with girlfriend, it all ended.
It's over. I mean, they were having fun, and you can see. I mean, he may be feeling her, but you can see he couldn't even look in her eyes when they had their thing.
Because I think with Big Bone, it's all lust, but with
it
Keyshawn, he really loved that girl.
He loved her.
Yeah,
he gave her that
necklace. He gave her protection. Yeah, he took that joint back too.
She's still wearing it though.
I mean, he snatched. He didn't. He told her to keep it. That's right, because he said it didn't work. But he was heartbroken when she did him that way.
Yeah. And you brought up the two young ladies, Whisper and Roulette. Oh, they were off the hook this week.
Yeah.
I was like, now this plan, I don't know why, Roulette, I know she was after the money. So that's the bottom line. She wanted the money. And Terrence is willing to offer this crazy amount to just go in and, do his thing with Whisper, which she already felt like the vibes were off with this dude. And of course, after the whole thing is done, he pops off trying to short them on the money.
Yeah.
And Roulette steps in and
playing Roulette, playing with his life.
Emasculated him.
Yeah, we can see how she got her name.
Right.
Yeah.
We know how she got her name.
That girl, she is stock crazy. I mean,
I'm telling you.
I told you she's the female Teak. She's the female Teak.
You know what? She's worse than Teak.
Right.
Oh. Let me tell you, her actions are gonna cost somebody.
That's what I was about to say.
Her actions, I was like, I thought about that when she did that to that man, and she told Duffy to take the car. I was like, if you gonna pull a gun on somebody,
you gotta use it.
You need to finish it, because I think Whisper or Duffy might end up being hurt as a result of that, because that guy is gonna be
he's coming back.
Looking for revenge. She coming back, and Whisper might get hurt, or he might pull up on Duffy since she told Duffy to go get rid of the car.
And not only did she pull a gun on him, she emasculated him. She embarrassed the hell out of him. I was like, oh, he coming back.
But
this is not going to end well.
She thinks personally, because she said it, she thinks personally he's not going to come back because of the blatant disrespect, right? But, this guy could be from the mentality like, I'm going to make sure both of them disappear. I know where they work at, so I'm going to come there, and something's going to happen at the Pynk, either through that, because he's going to come back and wonder where his car is, and then, or the other guy, he might go to the shop and find out his car is there, and
that's what I'm saying. Definitely. Either one of them are going to get it, and it's going to be Roulette's fault.
Right. If he got any sense, he leave Roulette alone. I mean, when you saw at the end, she looked at that revolver and that bullet.
That one bullet.
That bullet where the chamber was, remember, it would have been her turn to put the gun to her head. And had that happened, no more.
I just got to chill. Ooh.
Right. Yeah, because that's they showed that scene specifically for a reason. Yeah. They showed that, so she might be saving that one bullet for him, knowing that she got to use it.
No, I don't think so. I just think I think that what that meant was it showed just how crazy she is and how crazy and dangerous Russian roulette is. Because if in Russian roulette, it's you, it's me, it's you, it's me until the gun goes off. That next turn would have been hers had they continued the game. And she would have blown her head off. So that's what it meant to me, just how crazy this woman really is. Because when she looked at it, she closed the revolver, and then they showed her face. It's just that little that little instance on her face where she said, it looked as if she said,
Remind me of the Joker's face. You know how the Joker has that distorted kind of smile and grin or whatever, it's called. And you know that he's kind of a maniac,
as if
and
to say,
will push the envelope. That's kind of how I felt in looking at her.
She to me said, I just dodged a bullet.
Right. Or she got 9 lives and she got about 6 or 7 left.
No pun intended.
I don't know. I think she's kind of resolved to her fate. I mean, I think we kind of got that early on. I think she knows how she's going to go out because she said that she has a relationship or she has a good relationship or something like that with death.
With death. Mm-hmm.
Whatever she said, I think she understands her fate.
Right.
And that's what makes her so much dangerous.
It does.
Somebody that really don't have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But that's why I think it's not going to be her. That's because somebody else is going to be impacted by her recklessness. And that I think is actually going to impact her because she was impacted when she talked about her brother being killed by the cop. So she can be impacted. So it seems like even though she set Whisper up to do this thing, she told dude off break, I'm not leaving. So I'm gonna be up here. She played her Candy Crush in the bathroom until things went down. And of course, probably was so she can get her cut too. But she did not leave her alone with dude. And when he stepped out of line and was choking her, that's when she pulled the gun on him. So I think if something happens to Whisper or Duffy, because she seems to be caring about Duffy too, I think she would definitely be impacted. She may not care what happens to herself. But
there you go.
She cares about, I think she will take issue with.
Gotcha.
We're talking about the impact of death. We got to see Big Teak one last time this week. They were preparing him for the funeral. So again, shout out to John Clarence Stewart for gracing us with his interview and really just being all around just amazing. But we got to see him one last time as he was laying in the casket. Murder was really kind of hurt. Like when he slipped that one last wrap into his hand, and he was like, just in case you need this, if it's dark down there where you at, I was like, wow. And the way his tears just flowed down I was like, J. Alphonse is amazing.
Yeah, he's killing it.
The acting is so amazing.
Yeah, but he's gonna need a new haircut now. He ain't Little Murder no more. He is Murder Incorporated.
Right.
Murder Inc.
It was disrespectful what went down because Pico was out here posting online talking about taking responsibility for the kill. Like, you don't do stuff like that.
You don't do that. That was real disrespectful.
He was asking for what he got.
But you know what? It's so crazy. That's what's going on now in society. And they did a great job of doing that. That's what's going on with these gang rivals in regards to it in every neighborhood right now, right? So they showed, the writers showed how this could actually happen. I thought he was going to spare his life once he said, I have a son, my son, and I got a baby on the way. I thought he was going to give him another opportunity to make it right, like pull his phone out and go live and say, you didn't do it. But then he said, you know what? I'm going to tell him for you. And I was like, wow, that's
probably take care of him. He gonna blow up and he gonna take care of little Tyson.
Right.
Yeah, he was on a mission, and for someone to disrespect his mate.
Yeah, I mean, if it would have been anybody else, he might have gave him a second chance.
Might have given him another chance, but you don't just step on a man's grave.
It's a gang thing too, right? Isn't that the other part of this is a rival gang.
It's a rival gang.
He couldn't leave it just hanging.
And he couldn't. Right. And he took that note between the other, the other boys when they told him, when they showed him the video, he took that note and said, okay, I'm gonna handle this.
Right.
And once you do that, there's no turning back.
No, not at all.
And here's the thing. Pico has been disrespectful. Like that was like his third strike, to be honest. Because last season he basically called Murder a punk and stuff. And then this season he was trying to dry snitch about his sexuality and stuff. Talking about trade.
Stop playing with.
So then this is the third strike. Now you can violated T.
Yeah.
In death. So I think he had no more passes to give with with Pico.
That was the third strike right there.
That was the third strike.
I appreciated the music selection this episode when they were playing the Scarface.
That was
and Migos were doing
Yes.
clout. I was like, okay, they perfect with the song that fits the scene.
Yeah, it did. Clout song did fit.
Right.
So I really enjoyed that. But going back to what you said, because this video of murder still exists. Like that's not going nowhere. We don't know what happened with it, whether anybody was able to distribute it before they ended up killing what's his name?
Wrong.
Yeah. And so I did understand why Wody was like so defensive. Like he was saying, you know, somebody has to make it out. And I'm gonna do what I can to protect you. And when he said, "Not on my watch," all I could see was a Jan Levan Zant in my head. But I appreciate Wody being a writer.
Wody is a real one.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, funny thing about Wody is, first of all, maybe I missed it. I didn't know he was in mortuary science, but
yeah, that's what I was wondering too. You know, said the same thing.
Y'all ain't see him sleeping in the coffins and stuff earlier in the season.
Wait a minute, guys. Sleeping in a coffin and actually doing the work are two different things. I mean, my thing is he could have been a janitor in the place, but you know, to see him actually, you know,
I thought he was doing. I did because the conversation I had last week.
But look at the irony. Yeah. He can put you in the grave and fix you up too. I mean, you know,
same time.
My boy's got, you know, that's what.
The fact that he knew how to get Rome out of here. He knew stuff about chemistry and everything. That let me know that he was doing some stuff with mortuary science. He knew about anatomy.
And he used the hearse. And he used the hearse to get around.
Yeah. I mean, he could have taken look, as far as I know, he could have taken chemistry in high school. I don't know. But my thing was, you know, to see him actually doing that work, because, you know, that's not a job for the, you know,
Well, they ain't weak.
Yeah, I mean, and like he said, you know, he's fully, you know, he's okay around dead people. I mean, it's
silent assassin.
That's the whole thing. And the remnants of when he watched him die, and he was telling him he's dying as it was occurring, that let me know something right then and there, right? He used fentanyl to take him out or whatever, a bad shot or whatever. But he just sat there and watched him, and he told him as it was occurring what was happening. I'm like, yeah, he's deep. Most morticians, I have a few friends that are morticians, and they're a little bit different. And he gave me that vibe too, right?
I got a family member that's a mortician, and I'm trying to tell you, every time they come over, they feel cold.
Right.
Oh man.
Right.
I see frost hanging from him.
Oh my goodness.
You don't know nothing, right? Ain't nobody here about to leave, right? That'll be my question.
But y'all know what? I have two big concerns with all that went on this episode with murder. First of all, Mercedes stopped Maine from going and avenging Pico once he found out Pico was dead. So I feel like at some point Maine and Lil Murder gonna face off.
That part,
like that kind of worries me.
Is
they are part of rival gangs, and it's like this beef that's been ignited now.
Yeah.
The second thing that really worries me is that at the end of the episode, it looked like Murder was going in to rap and possibly get some things off his chest. And if we have been paying attention to what's been going on with, you know, the feds trying to get rappers for their lyrics and stuff, I was like, I hope Murder uses some discretion to not talk about this situation.
You are going right where I was going to go, because Congress, like a few days ago, introduced a bill to protect rap lyrics.
Right.
And stuff. So House passed it. I mean, the House introduced it. It has not yet passed, but we'll see. And hopefully it will protect whatever Murder's about to spit in that booth.
Because he had murder in his eyes.
Yeah, he did. In the back of his head.
Wait a minute, and not just that. Did you see the blood that was still on his hands?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was motivation blood.
I'm worried.
Yeah.
I wonder about the retaliation that's going to come behind it too.
What about definitely retaliation?
It's going to be a bunch of it, because
could he get hurt? Would he end up in the bin? You know, because
right.
Well, what we do know is that like Tara said, it's all gonna go down at the Pynk. Whatever's gonna happen.
Murder Night 2.0.
Yeah. Gonna be Murder Night 2.0.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is gonna. They'll be like, the pink is always drama. It's gonna be difficult for them to keep the
They
pink
ain't gonna
open.
never have no
Well, you know,
reopening.
it'll be
Be
interesting.
grand closing.
He disguised himself pretty well, but you know, it'll be interesting to find out how they figured that it was actually Little Murder. Or I might keep calling him Little Murder. He's Murder Inc. now.
He is Little Murder.
No, he's Murder Inc. now. They got changed his name. Look, when you he didn't just shoot. He didn't just shoot him.
Oh man, he
had a semi-automatic.
He let it go.
He came with an assault weapon. He ain't come with a
at close range with, you know,
aired him out.
I'm telling you, there was no way he could survive that. You know?
No, but I was thinking
bystanders like walking past.
That's what I was about to say.
And he had a hood. He had a hood, and he had.
He had on their colors.
But he walked right past them.
But he had on their gang colors.
Right. So it looked as if it was one of them that could possibly did it.
You can't know which of the gang member it was. You just know that
it's going to start a war. They may not even know it's murder, but they see those colors.
Exactly.
They'll probably ride on the set on the you know, the gang members.
Right.
Yeah, and as big as that gun was, it ain't no tucking that in as you walking away.
That's what I was saying. I'm like,
that's what I said. He didn't bring a little joint.
That was a war gun. I thought he walked past him. I thought he was going to
it looked like an Uzi.
Oh, that was. It looked like an AK-47.
AK.
Yeah. Because it was short handle.
Right.
So it didn't have. It wasn't a long handle. It was a short handle. So
exactly.
That's why I thought it was an Uzi type, but I don't know.
No, it was
a little bit longer. It was a little bit.
It was. It wasn't
no handgun.
No handgun.
He was playing. That's what I'm saying. He was playing no games.
Yeah, I was confused by the moment because I saw him in the gang colors. You know, the rival gang colors. And then I saw him do something like this, and they all came running, but he kept, he went the other way.
Yeah, right.
Did y'all catch that too?
I caught that. That's why I thought he was about to really go to war, or something was about to go down, because like literally they went right to the scene and showed everybody gathering, like, oh my God, he got shot. Everybody was gathering, and then she told him to relax, don't go out, you're on house arrest. I thought it was about to go down, like a war or something, when he was gonna go all out.
Yeah.
You mean when Mercedes stopped
Rome, Maine.
Stop Maine. Yeah, I mean, Mercedes was right to do that.
Right, because he's on house arrest.
Yeah,
his alarm would have went off, so
and that's where they would have picked him up too, right there.
Right there. And he would have probably got more charges for being involved in that type of environment.
You can bet on that.
Right.
I like since we're talking about Maine, you know what? I like his sensitivity with Mercedes, but I also like what he said to her toward the end. When he was trying to get it copping his feel. And she said, I need more than that. And he blessed her, basically saying,
he was just like, I hope you find
what you're looking for. And that was cool.
He also told her to try to make up for whatever she had done by making a difference in somebody else's life. So
right.
Man, the main is fine too. So I was like, Mercedes, take one for the team.
I don't know about that.
I'm talking about us team. But he's fine. But I think that she didn't want to pursue things with him because, he just got out the bank and he trying to get into some stuff. She trying to get her daughter back. So I think she trying to have some stability. And was like, I can't be fooling with this man. And he ain't
got a woman though, because when he said, I got the. He insinuated like he got somebody in the house waiting. That's why I can't call you. I can't talk on the phone because of I'm insinuating like somebody was in the house as in regards to why he didn't call.
I think he was talking about when he was locked up, when he was saying he couldn't really talk because people were there or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
I thought it was a woman. He was basically saying a woman in the house. But you could be right. You could be right.
I could be wrong too. So I just know that he just was saying,
why else would he wouldn't be able to be with her? You know what I mean? If they want to be together.
I think he wanted to. He's talking like he wants to be with her. She just said, "I need more." I mean,
he was the one that told him.
And then I wonder too. I wonder if we're gonna see Farrah again too. Like I was like, I'm thinking in this moment, she is thinking about Terica and doing what's right for her, and his lifestyle does not.
They don't mix.
It doesn't mix. But I'm just like, Is Farrah an option?
Okay, so let's talk about Andre now, because
oh man,
Andre got a problem, and his problem, he got outed for sure, and
lying.
Well,
it was a lie. He said
yeah.
He said he's
in jail.
No. Straight up, it was a lie. Out of the pits of hell, but it was a lie. But I understand why he said it.
He could have been dead to him.
Because you know what? It's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Had he come out and said, "Yep, my daddy's in jail for murder," yada yada yada, that same thing could have been applied to him. So I think he was just trying to, but at the same token, that's the first time he ran for anything like that. So he doesn't understand the dirtiness of politics. Because in politics, they're going to find out every little nook and cranny about you.
That's why he should have did what Patrice did and just.
That's what I was about to say. Right.
He controlled the narrative.
Well, look.
He was like, I hold so y'all can Chucalissa can walk.
Yeah, but Patrice.
I love Patrice.
Yeah, but
I love Patrice with her messy self.
But look, now let's put it in perspective. Patrice didn't come out saying that she was a straight up hoe. No, when they asked about it, she
owned it.
But wait a second. Let me explain how she owned it. The interview took place and she owned who she was. Now that should have given Andre the impetus. Hey, let's go get a news crew out there and let me own this mistake.
Hello, yes.
That's what I'm saying. She owned it, and then she also said, "Yeah, that's who I was." But pretty much saying what I said last week, the Bible transformed. But now I'm doing this for the Lord. Right. So she pivoted. She
gave her the advantage.
Well,
again,
had she not had that news crew in her face, would she have owned it?
But see, that's the thing about being in politics. Don't ask, don't tell.
Exactly. We ain't asking, but if they do come to ask. Exactly. And so now if I were Andre, then I would start getting a news crew and say, okay, y'all gotta come. Let me confess. Let me say, yes, this was a lie. This is why I lied. I lied because it's a stain in my past. I was embarrassed about my dad. I didn't want to bring this on the political front, and that's why I lied. Something to that effect. You're going to have to clean that mess up one way or the other. Trying to get her out of the game, I don't think it's going to work.
I think she's going to take that money. I think she's going to take the money. At the end of the day, I do think Andre is going to end up winning.
Yes.
I do.
Because they have a vested interest in him. Like Corbin is saying that he can't necessarily be the front for the campaign. He and Clifford had that talk where Cliff is saying, unlike you, I know what I can't be. He was like, you the one that keep trying to go against the tide. And so Corbin, I think he realized like, okay, and he told Wayne too, in order for us to win, he has to, speaking of Andre, he has to win. And but so we have a vested interest in making sure that Andre comes out on top. But like you said, I think Patrice is going to take that money because she was over the moon when she seen that 10K roll in, and then once Corbin offered her more and said there's more where that came from, we know
who told her that.
She's gonna endorse Andre. She's gonna endorse Andre before it's over with.
But can I ask a question? Now, is Autumn playing both sides? Because Autumn gave Andre $10,000, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm assuming, and now my writer's mind is telling me that other $10,000 came from Autumn. That $10,000 I think came from Autumn.
I think so.
So is she playing both sides?
Which $10,000? You mean the $10,000?
But she did it because
remember when she was doing a telethon? She was doing a telethon, and then the lady was like, "Oh my God!" And then she's like 10,000. She seen it, and she went crazy. That like it gave her the Holy Ghost.
But the message was cashed outside. It might have been
outside.
because and then she immediately went outside to meet him.
And
so it might
more money.
It might have been him, but it could.
That was a what do you call it? He put in the fact that he would give her $10,000, and he said, and basically, in order to get that money, you have to meet me outside, and that's what the note. Remember, there was a note with that.
It said cash outside, right? That's what I was saying.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. So I thought Autumn gave that money too, because $10,000.
No, but it could have. But indirectly though, he did that check could have come from Andre. Andre may have given it to Corbin and stuff because remember, Uncle Clifford was the one that put it in Corbin's head. He said Patrice is easy. The way to her is Benjamin's.
Yeah.
So
Right,
she was the one that told Corbin to put the money was the way to get her out the race.
But
Right.
Corbin emphatically said, "I'm the one that's backing this campaign of yours financially." So I don't know if I wouldn't suspect it was Andre's money. I think it was Corbin, and I think Corbin is going to do whatever he has to do, money wise, to make certain that Andre wins. Because if Andre wins, they win.
They
So
need to get Wayne out the way too, because he's the one that was behind those commercials, and he's a hater.
He's a hater.
well, it's well, Sonia, you're in that realm. It's the act of doing business. I mean,
You see, I'm being deliberately mute.
yeah, I
right now.
understand. Yeah, I mean, only so much you can say, but that's how it is in that business. It's a dog eat dog world.
It is.
And
It is.
if they know anything about you that's negative, it's going to come out. And nowadays they make up stuff. They'll actually make things up. If that works. So
is Uncle Clifford going to team up with Corbin now?
That seems like it. Because I mean, he said the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So they basically trying to get Patrice out of here. And I think
and get Autumn out of there too.
And I was about to say Autumn too, because she did some snaky stuff. Her deal with Georgie ain't working out quite how she wanted it to.
No, she want that 10 million. She only giving her 5.
I'm worried about that. I don't. I don't think she want to tangle with Georgie. I just don't think
Georgie was talking about the reparations and stuff. She was like, "Y'all want child reparations." I was like, "Oh wow."
Yeah,
even the hairstylist was throwing out some racist remarks, talking about Shanae down the street.
Oh, but you see how she got dismissed like the help? I was like, "See, that's just why."
Yeah, cover her mouth and don't know.
But Georgie is messing with a stick of dynamite that just. I'm gonna tell you, I love me some Haley, and
she don't know what she
know. You don't know who you messing with. And Haley said, "I will see you at the ballot box." And you know what? Hey, and here we play. Here we see how this is all coming to play. They're going to get rid of Patrice.
Well, Patrice, I think is easy. They're gonna get rid of Georgie, I think, and Wayne. I think in the end, Corbin is going to get Andre over the top with Haley's help, because Haley knows how to maneuver too.
Right.
And I think, see, the thing is, Haley and Clifford had a feud this week too, and they were arguing back and forth. And Cliff, the whole reason he went and tried to team up with Corbin is because he seen that vision of his mom in his back seat, and his mom was basically telling him, like, you need to get your payback. So, now Cliff is kind of like, it seemed like him and Autumn are working against each other, which I don't know.
He might check. She might checkmate Autumn at the end. Yes. Like Autumn may think that she has this all sorted out, but at the end, Uncle Cliff might come out on top.
Yeah, I think that's down the road. Because still, I wish the two of them would get on the same sheet of music, because, look, I know Haley wants to sell, and 5 million is still 5 million. And
yeah, but she knows that they're going to make so much more. So she's
not going to get any more than that.
I think she's under the umbrella. She's not going to get what she is worth. So she's definitely going to get what she negotiates, right?
If Andre becomes mayor, then that's what helps her and the Pynk out. So I think she controls Andre. So if Andre is mayor, they're
gonna be a power couple. They're gonna be back together. I'm telling you.
I think they're gonna be a power couple too. I think she's trying to.
The thing is, though, that Corbin does not really like Haley. He always tries to dismiss her, and I think that's what Andre has working against him. Is if he falls too much into Haley's hand and he starts not listening to what Corbin is trying to get him to do, that's when Corbin is going to side with Cliff and be like, "Look, we getting both of them up out of here." It could go either way.
Is already a foregone conclusion when it comes to Haley. I mean, when Haley breathes, Andre sniffs it in. I mean, it's just that's just how bad Clifford.
He also said he wants Haley and not Lakeisha, though.
Yeah, he doesn't want. Yeah, he wants all.
Well, he wants the
real her.
Well, and then Haley is the cleaned up model. So I mean, I got it. Yeah, that's the one you
The
want.
cleaned up model. No, Haley is the one. That's truly who she is. Not
Well, I'm
the.
saying cleaned up in respect to the other Autumn, because he doesn't want Autumn. He knows he can't fashion Autumn. You know.
But she said too, she died in that fire. Remember that? She said that for a
He
reason.
she said Haley died in that fire.
That fire, right?
But she has a way of resurrecting Haley anytime she wants to.
Absolutely.
So,
but the way she moves and stuff, and we find out that she was in the foster care system and stuff.
Yeah,
but we found that out, so she doesn't know who her parents are and stuff.
Right.
Is her name really even Haley Colton?
Right.
You know, and I think I was
like who is this woman?
When the sheriff of the town was he found the wanted poster of her, and he kind of looked at her as she was walking out the Pynk, and I think he realized who she really was. I wonder if that was ever going to come back up too, and if he was going to like dig further into
who she is.
Keisha, Autumn, like whatever person she wants to be that day. I was wondering if he might not investigate her and find out her truth.
Yeah, because look how she was easily able to get birth certificates and all this other stuff. She's getting passports for Keyshawn and stuff. She probably has several aliases, and Haley Colton might be one of them.
And they don't know who this woman really is. They downplaying her and thinking she really just a stripper. But this woman probably she's an intelligent woman. Yeah. She's been through a lot. You know,
and a corporate accountant she was.
Yes,
that right there, I ain't nothing to mess with. Nothing. I mean, that's a smart woman. Okay.
Yeah. There's so many different ways this story could go.
Absolutely. That's that, but it's a reason she's steading fast on that $10 million. This is a reason, and we don't see it yet, but it's definitely a reason.
She always seems to pull up on Andre when he's at his lowest, like when Godfather died, the mayor died, and then this time when she saw the commercial, the ad and stuff. She always is there.
You think she's an opportunist then? Is that what you're saying?
She really cares about him. I think it's both. I do think she's an opportunist.
She's both.
I do think she's an opportunist, but I also think she cares about Andre too.
Yeah, she has some, she has a little heartfeltness for him, but
yeah, I think they care for each other.
But it's to her advantage to have a future mayor in her back pocket.
And
it is.
And I'm telling you, the way she plays Andre, it is a beautiful piece of music. I mean, that man may as well be he's a guitar and she knows how to play him.
How to play his strings, right?
I mean, I just love the way she works on him. Hey, but that's real life.
So imagine her having $10 million and being with the mayor. You know how much control she's going to have. She's going to be a very powerful woman shortly, more powerful than she is.
Yeah, except that she can't. She's got to be careful because right now, trying to play both sides, Georgia ain't nothing to mess with.
No.
So, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
No.
So she's gotta watch herself.
Right. Right. Definitely so.
Forward to still. Next week there's the grand reopening of the Pynk. And of course, Murda, he is, shooting up. He is on the train to success. And Cliff is asking him, how does it feel to be so well known? And Murda's talking about people thinking they know him, but not really knowing him. And so it took me back to their conversation this episode where Cliff was saying, like, I don't want to be a secret or whatever. And then they start arguing back and forth about,
who using protection
because he's basically saying, like, you sleeping with me, that wasn't a consolation prize. I still don't want to be a secret.
Right.
So they got some stuff to still work out. I hope that they can do it amicably before things hit the fan. I don't
goodness.
left between them.
Yeah, that's a trip because Murda was like, he wasn't trying to tell Cliff where he was going, but he asked him where Uncle Cliff was going.
Yeah,
that was fly. That does not fly with us. Like, I don't have to tell you if you don't have to tell me.
Exactly.
But they both saving each other emotions and feelings because Uncle Cliff was going to the club and he going to be his rapper, his rapper image self. I'm so happy that grandmother survived.
That's what I was gonna say, Hassan. I'm like, that was the joy of she's still here.
Yeah, she's still here.
At least for this episode. We got 2 more episodes left. Let's hope she pick it up this year.
Definitely.
I'm hoping the next episode don't start out with grandma. She getting that phone call because Uncle Cliff is waiting for that phone call, but then the nurse told her, no news is good news, so knock it off. But during that time, if we could remember during the pandemic, a lot of people were going into the hospital and wasn't making
not coming back.
Right.
And then they didn't let your loved ones come. So it was not like you come see them.
And it took more than a few days
to get a phone call.
No, to die. I mean,
so that too.
So, according to how this is playing out, I guess we can only assume that she's been in the hospital for a day or two. So, or
longer. Who knows?
But we don't know. I don't know, but I think it'll be interesting before episode 10 whether she makes it out. Personally, I don't think she will.
Right.
But he went to the gravesite though and was like pleading with his mother to like not take her away.
Right.
Like I don't know. I'm still holding out hope.
Grandma for sure. But at the height of this, right? Didn't everyone that passed away had to be cremated, if I could recall?
Yeah, at the very beginning, they were cremating bodies.
Yeah, because they couldn't have like funerals and nothing.
The other thing too is they run out of burial ground. I mean, it was just
it wasn't so much cremation, it was a matter of storage. I don't mean to sound grim. It was like proper storage. So places were running out of storage space. And so they couldn't have services in a timely manner.
Right.
So
yeah, they had people piled in vans and they were using.
Yeah, in New York, they had trailers. They had big tractor trailers that were freezers just to put bodies in. It was crazy.
Yeah.
That presents a whole new problem.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, I'm gonna hold out hope that grandma is gonna make it.
Yeah, me
too.
Hope
for Mercedes too, that she can get it together. Because the next episode, Cliff is talking to her. She storms out the club.
Right.
She's upset because she can't perform the way she wants to.
Right.
So I'm hoping that Mercedes can have a breakthrough or something.
They need to put some respect on Mercedes' name, because what's for Roulette was like, you don't want to be like her and pass her prime and all this other stuff.
With
so
the gray hairs down there.
With
the gray hairs down there.
They said Lord. Her was like watching their grandma trying to set up the Wi-Fi. I was like,
I was like, I hated how we're talking about her.
They disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
So I think, they better recognize Mercedes is not the one to be played with. Just because she's injured, she's still that girl.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I thought it was an interesting exchange between her and Mississippi. In that moment, it was like, I see you. I know what you're going through. It was an interesting moment. It really was.
Keyshawn came in asking for her old station, basically, and Mercedes was kind of like, you got some nerve, but of course her station was still there. So I think it's kind of like this, I don't know. I don't even know if it's a love-hate thing right now. I think
it's respect.
Mercedes a little about what happened.
Because they were family.
Love for her at the end of the day.
Family.
At that part, I think it's definitely that. I think everybody was mad at her for what happened, but at the same time, I think they still see her as family. And I think it was recognition on Mercedes' part that they both back at the Pynk.
Exactly.
Because both of them had other plans. Like, Mississippi is blowing up. She got eyelashes and everything else, all types of endorsements. She was just on the road with Little Murder. She was that chick, and she back at the Pynk. And then Mercedes was supposed to have her last dance. She got a gym. She had retirement plans, but she back at the Pynk. So I think it was that recognition between them two.
Humbling, yes.
She said, if you are here, it has to be for a good reason.
Yeah. So I hope that they can all settle their issues, and I hope nobody has to be going to see Wody at the end of the day to get married.
Well,
let's hope that happened to Wody either.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, definitely. But I do think Rome probably did some type of insurance for himself. He probably sent that video on somewhere to somebody in the event something happens to him. I'm just saying, I think that video is going to pop up.
I don't think he was that smart enough to do that. I think he was more caught up in this.
I don't know.
If he was showing it to Keyshawn, chances are he was showing it to other people.
Yeah.
Loud and wrong.
Not just being
and everything
smart enough. I think he's just that diabolical
and vindictive.
Yeah. Just that would have been something he would have done just on GP.
Yeah.
But do you
definitely.
think would that would have still given him control, knowing that somebody else knows? Because even he waited for that moment to produce or expose her to more opportunities. Like, all right, I'm out here trying to get you shoe deals. Now I need something, right? So I think he always wanted that ace up his sleeve in every aspect, right?
I also think he's into not just control but destruction. He likes to destroy things. Right. He likes to tear things down. So what greater
that gives him the upper hand.
Yeah, I mean, to tear down murder, murder.
That's the ultimate.
That is the ultimate tear. He's an icon. So to tear down that icon,
that's the whole thing. Murder is money, though. That's what I was thinking.
I was just about to say that with his trajectory, he could demand anything out of him for as long as his career is high.
That's the reason why.
He saw Keyshawn being the money maker.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. For now,
because he called them broke ends and stuff like that. He did
for now until murder really gets mainstream. Because after he's mainstream, he has unlimited earning potential beyond what Keyshawn is doing. So, and I should say was, because he ain't here no more.
Right.
But I enjoyed this episode. Sounds like we all did. We went a little over time, so we had a lot to talk about.
Right.
But, I do want to thank everyone for watching, and I'm gonna remind y'all again. I'm not gonna let up on this. Go watch our interview with John Clarence Stewart, who played Big T, because that interview was all that. And I think once you watch it too, you will agree. And you can see from the comment section too how much people enjoyed that interview. Once you start watching, you will not be able to stop because it was just that good.
Yeah, it was all the things.
Can I add something to that?
All the things.
Can I add something to that? Don't just watch, guys. Please subscribe. It's important. The Spot gives you guys content every week, great content. Support by subscribing, not just by watching.
And in case you don't know, that button is on the lower right-hand corner. So if you can't, having trouble finding the button, it's in the lower right-hand corner.
Right there.
Yeah. And so for all of you guys who out there who watch and support us every week, we appreciate you and we thank you so much. So please drop down in the comment section and let us know what you thought about this episode of P-Valley, and also give us your predictions for the rest of the season. And also follow us on our social media. We are at The Spot Real Talk on all major social media platforms. So yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. So you guys got anything else? No? All right. Well, I want to thank Hassan and Sonia for joining us again. It's always a pleasure to have you both.
Thank you.
All right. So until next time, I think we're going to call it a night. So see you guys next week.
Good night,
Bye.
I don't mean to put it on your nose, but it's clear how my baby's running this a block, cause you fear what you do to you if you get dirty hands and veneer. What you do, what she is, little boy, I tell you this. If baby wants sit, she can sit. If baby says lit, it's lit. Got your bank account and that cute. If she said it loud, it's the truth. If baby wanna ride, she can ride. If baby needs some time, she got time. Got your bank account and that cute. She can make it count, how about you?